So Dean Way is the Senior Food Services Manager for Seattle's Union Gospel Mission. Dean's story is one of redemption, and Seattle's Union Gospel Mission was right in the middle of it. Dean, would you share your story with us?
I would love to. My story really, I was born and raised in Vietnam, and my father was an American serviceman, and my mother was Vietnamese. I battled with drug and alcohol addiction for 40 years of my life, and it wasn't until I came to the mission. I carried a lot of guilt as a result of that war, and was, basically ostracized by my own people in Vietnam. And there was a term they addressed us as boy doi, means dust of the earth. So I grew up thinking that I wasn't worthy.
What happened at Seattle's Union Gospel Mission? What happened when you walked in the doors?
Well, I walked there because I literally was at the end of, my rope and had fallen into just a pit of despair that I thought I would never get out of addiction. And there was a tug on me to just come in there for the services, shelter, warm bed, food. I was really tired, and I wanted to change, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. But I gravitated because, there was a roof over my head at that time. And what was amazing was it transpired into realizing it was a safe environment. And for me to process, part of my addiction and what led me to this road.
Yeah.
And they provided that space for me to heal.
What was it that broke the addiction?
It was God. It was the gospel of Jesus Christ. It was the act of caring that the mission does for its people, for the men and women that come through our recovery program.
So you're battling an addiction and you decide to get help. You walk into Seattle's Union Gospel Mission and the process starts. What does that look like?
This is, Steve, remind you, this is 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I still remember as if it was yesterday. I just took it a day at a time because I didn't know what that was going to look like. I really didn't. And I remember the first time I was asked to work in the kitchen. I had been a pretty successful cook back in Hawaii, worked for 4 seasons for multiple years as a line cook. And when they told me, hey, you need to go to work. I literally cried. I broke down and cried. It was just, I felt like I never wanted to see another kitchen in my life. And I thought that I was just unworthy to work anywhere. And I ended up showing up to work. And, it was the dirtiest kitchen I ever saw in my life, Steve. And I said, doggone it, Dean, if there's ever a time you're going to learn, you need to do what is asked. You need to just be quiet and do the best you can.
Yeah. Now I imagine you feel better about kitchens now.
I really do. Yeah. Well, I'm just so thrilled and honored. I get the privilege. I really do, to work with an amazing team that works alongside of me. I get to coach them and to share my passion. I love food. I love to create dishes for people to eat.
What's your specialty?
Oh, you need to come down because we create a 31-day meal plan every month. And on there is a mixture of Asian foods these are foods that I love, from homemade meatloaf to chicken fettuccine, Alfredo. We do chicken katsu, beef stews. I mean, the list goes on. And these are the dishes that I truly love to eat and share.
That's awesome. So you've not only regained the freedom to live life without being bound to an addiction, you've also gotten something that you love back into your life too, which is cooking. That's awesome, a passion.
That is good to me. He's just so good to me. He's given me everything and more than I could ever expected, Steve. That's how good our God is.
What would you say to someone who feels like they're at the end of their rope and they don't know what to do? Yeah.
Well, there are times that I tell our men and even our women that recovery looks different for every individual, but there has to be a base core that's underlying principle that we all share, and that is, for me, it's the gospel of Jesus Christ. And through that, I do have strength to. Normally, I would never speak to you, and normally I would never share to anybody any faults or hang-ups that I have, Steve. But it's through the gospel that's given me the strength to say to our men and women that everything you've known up to this point you've done, unfortunately, wasn't the best for you, and you need to learn to trust somebody, and you need to have faith that you're going to be taken care of, and to think about what you are doing to your life, and it's to let our men and women know they're not alone. You need to do this together. It's a journey together, and it's a journey we get straight when we can share our faults.
I think that there's a lot of truth in that, and we're stronger together, they say, right?
Yeah.
What was it like, or what's your memory of, like, when Jesus really got a hold of you?
Yeah, and I share this. This is a little emotional because those are the moments that you feel like you're so alone in the world, and it's that moment that you can pray. And what is amazing is afterwards, there's a sense of calmness, and that knowing that tomorrow will come and it will be okay.
Yeah. I've been really touched lately by the passage in Philippians 4 that begins with, "Rejoice in the Lord always, be anxious about nothing." And then it goes on to say, "And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus."
Yeah, it was the changes that I saw. And, I grew up so disobedient. The war in Vietnam and just having to fight every day and waking up hungry and going to bed hungry. At that time, Steve, I thought the whole world looked like this, and I thought it was normal. And it wasn't until 1970, I left one day before the fall of Saigon, and really confused. Grew up without a family, grew up on the streets, was rewarded for stealing. Boy, I carried this guilt in me for so long as if it was my fault that I've lost my heritage and family. And I really, the mission provided a space for me to learn to forgive myself, that it was my fault and that was okay, because that's sometimes life isn't always fair and we get a bad deal. But I have another chance in life that I'm so grateful for that I never thought. I thought I would be sleeping in somebody's doorway the rest of my life.
One of the things I think of when somebody thinks that they're beyond God's forgiveness is the list of people in the Bible that we know God forgave and the things that they did. He can handle whatever it is you've done. He can forgive you. He wants to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was the gospel of Jesus Christ that's truly saved my life. And it was the mission that provided that space and avenue. And here I am. I thought I would never be worthy of a position or something like that. But I'm so grateful that I get to be there and to be a part of this and to share my story with others and to be amongst that rank like Alvin.
Dean, thank you so much for sharing your story. That really means a lot to us. And congratulations on 9 years. You're an inspiration.
Bless you. And I want to invite you to come back. I know you've been to the mission, and I'd love to invite you to come back and to serve one day.
That would be awesome.
Bless you. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Thanks, Dean.